So we've already gone through the inspection and the appraisal. Now we're on to the last one, the loan contingency. What's going on, ladies and gents of Cyberland? So I'm coming back with another educational video. This time we've already worked on the inspection, the appraisal. Now we're on to the loan contingency. So loan contingency is a little different, and I mean this in regards to most of the time, if things are done the right way, the loan contingency won't be an issue. Okay? The reason why we have a loan contingency is pretty much to say that, hey, everything's going good, and during the escrow, and if something goes wrong with the loan, then you can still back out. That's the purpose of the contingency, meaning, hey, we thought everything was good, we thought we were approved, we thought everything was going to go well, but they found some hiccups and we can't buy the home, and we're going to have to back out. That's the purpose of the loan contingency. However, most of the time, in my experience, when a client is looking to purchase a home, this is one of those things where we say you want to have all your ducks in a row even before you put your offer in. It's kind of like if you already know what homes you're looking for and you already know what you want, it really should be that loan should really have already been worked on when you were already scouring to look for homes. And then it's kind of like if you have a good loan officer, somebody who really understands what your wants and needs, and there's communication all the time, and especially with the realtor as well that you're working with, then most of the time when it comes to the loan contingency, there's not going to be any concerns. Normally, if there is, it's because somebody dropped the ball in the process of trying to get through escrow, and then that's when there's some serious issues and escrow could fall out. And I've actually seen it happen. Wasn't my client, however, it was more so of a third party. I saw the exchange kind of go sideways. I kind of was informed about what happened and why it went wrong. Now, the thing about the loan contingency too is that, as I've stated with the inspection and the appraisal, even once the inspection and the appraisal has already been removed, you still can back out as a buyer in regards to the loan contingency. Let's say your loan is good, but you guys don't feel this is the right move, and you know, it's just not the thing for you thought it was, and you feel that there's another home that interests you more, you can back out. But of course you need to know that backing out, there's no guarantees that you can come back and still purchase the home at a later time. So if you back out, you have to accept the fact that you're moving on and you're not going to buy this home. You know, you gotta, as a realtor, you want to make sure that's instilled in your client, that they understand, hey, we can back out, we can remove ourselves from escrow, it is what it is. However, you understand that, you know, once you make this call, then this home may not be available and somebody else is going to get it. And if you're okay with that, then hey, let's do it. If this is not right for you, then let's do it. Because again, as a realtor, you're there to serve your client's needs. It's not about you. You're not the one living in this house. Yes, you'll get a commission from the sale of this home, of them buying it and the listing agent selling the home. But the reality is, at the end of the day, that's not what this is about. It's about making your clients happy. It's getting them what they want and making it possible for them, and doing everything you can in your power to make that a reality. Now, the other thing about a loan contingency is that you can do is kind of use it as leverage. And let me kind of say how you can do that. So let's say, for example, the inspection is going good, and you know, you're concerned that, hey, we did the inspection, we did the appraisal, we're going through that, but we still feel unsure about removing the contingencies. Because let's say you have a situation where the listing agent says, hey, in order for it to go in escrow with you, we need to have these things done really fast, like the inspection done, this and that. You know, they just make certain demands, and they can do that as a listing agent as long as it's legal, of course. And you're concerned about, well, if we remove the inspection and we do the appraisal so soon, do we still have to buy the home if we don't want it? It's like, no. And it's only an issue when you remove all three. And one thing I advise all my clients to do is never remove all three contingencies. If you need to remove one at least, understandable, but never remove all three. Ever. And the reason being is because, let's say you guys thought everything was good with your loan and it's not, and you removed all contingencies and you can't buy the home. Well, guess what? That deposit of that $30,000 or that $80,000, you very well are forfeiting that. And if you're trying to get it back, the seller could be inclined not to want to give it back because you wasted their time. And then that's when it can get into litigation, and then hey, you can get your $30,000 back, but now you have to spend some money to get that $30,000 back because you're in litigation because you didn't follow the contract. And that's the reason of the contract for the contingencies, and also your job as a realtor, educating your client to let them know that this is the purpose of the inspection, of the appraisal, and of the loan contingency. Because some people think that, well, if I just remove the loan contingency starting out, we're good. I'm like, And this is where I'm going to get into a story. So, had a situation where my clients were good to go. They had done everything. They were good on their end. And they just weren't able to buy the home because they had the seller didn't want to wait for they had to sell their place, and the seller didn't want to wait for it. And I understand they had somebody else up. And I did my due diligence with the listing agent to try to see if I can get my seller or get my buyer to purchase the home if things don't go well. And the funny thing that ended up happening was it didn't go well. Kid you not. The buyer was everything was going good for the buyer, and then all of a sudden, apparently the lender didn't fully do their due diligence like they said they did. And what ended up happening was the loan couldn't be approved and the escrow fell apart. And even though I was there to serve my client's needs, I felt bad for the buyer because they did everything they were supposed to do. They did everything they were supposed to do. They did everything to the T, and they had a lender that wasn't doing their job, and it cost them the house that they wanted. And this is the other thing I'm going to also get into, mix in with loan contingency. Don't just hire anybody to be your lender. People will tell you they're going to do this, they're going to do that. You need to be very cautious about the lender that you work with, because at the end of the day, if things don't work, guess what? The lender, all they didn't get was a commission. They get to walk away in the scheme of things. And if they got a bunch of clientele, and I'm not saying every lender's like this, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying some lenders' mindset will be like, oh well, if things don't work out, that's all right. I got a roster of other people I got lined up. Some lenders have that mindset of you're a dime a dozen. I got plenty of other clients, or I got plenty of other people that I'll make an income off of. There's some people that have that mindset, and realtors too. So you need to be very cautious of who you work with. Because let's say you as a realtor, or your realtor, is doing everything in their power. They're keeping you educated every time they see you. They're giving you updates. Every time they get an update, they're giving you something every single time. And then all of a sudden, the lender, who you have no control over, even though you talk with the lender, you're not their boss per se. Your job, it's supposed to be a coexisting to make this transaction happen, this escrow to closing. Your clients get the home and everybody gets paid in the process. But at the end of the day, the clients are happy. But can't force the lender to do their job. You can kind of say, hey, we need to do this, do that. But, at the end of the day, if it's especially a lender that your client hired that you don't personally know, you kind of got to do your best to work with them. But if the lender's nonchalant and not really doing that much, or doesn't take it seriously, your clients very well could fall out of escrow. And that nearly happened with one of my clients. They didn't do anything wrong. They did everything they were supposed to. And unfortunately, there was some hiccups going on with the loan that I had to step in and do my part. Well, not necessarily do my part. I had to step in and do some things that was not part of my job. Why? Because I wasn't going to allow my clients to lose the home that they wanted. See, that's the thing as a realtor. When that whole thing about, well, that's not my job, check that crap at the door. Just check it at the door. Don't look at it as not part of the job. Look at it as like, are you here to be a realtor? Are you here to be a damn good one? And are you here to help people and educate? And if that's yes, then check that at the door. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to care about who did what. I mean, your clients will care to an extent, as long as you're able to deliver what they asked. But that's it. Past clients I've worked with, at the end of the day, it's about the relationship I established with them, and it's about what I did to serve their needs and get them into their home. That whole nitty-gritty about, well, who did this, who did that, that doesn't fully matter. The only time you bring it up is like if people are asking, how did you manage to make it happen for them? Well, then you mention those things. But otherwise, it doesn't matter. It's the result. So with the loan contingency and the lender, those go hand in hand. You got to keep that in mind. And it's normally my experience that's always the last contingency that does get removed. Sometimes the appraisal and the inspection can kind of get mingled together, or sometimes they both can be removed. However, the loan is always the last resort, because even if the house is great and even if it appraises for the right price, that loan situation, there could always be a hiccup. And in my experience, there's always been a hiccup. It's just been something that wasn't thought, or something wasn't calculated right, and then it turns into like, well, we got to fix this, or it's always like coming down to the wire. But you know, I haven't had a situation myself where the escrow fell out because of the loan. I've had situations where you know, this isn't good, this could be a problem for my client, but I've never had to where we fell out of escrow because of the loan. But kind of had to light a fire under some people to say, hey, what do we, you know, got to do this, got to do that. Or I would even say, what do you need me to do? I would give it right back to the lender. Is there anything I can do? Is there anything you need of me? Why? Because at the end of the day, I was trying to help my client. I didn't care about, well, that's not my job. There was no ego or any of that crap. It was just like, well, what can I do? Is there anything I can do to make this work? Didn't matter that I'm the realtor and that's the lender. Didn't matter to me. It was like, what can I do to make this work? What is there anything? You need me to go over here? I just looked at it like, I don't care about the title at this point. I care about getting my clients what they ask for. That's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. Doesn't matter if I was the one who drove 50 miles over here to do this to make it happen. I don't care. If that's what I got to do to make sure my clients get this home, or my clients are able to sell this home, so be it. The ego thing doesn't matter. So with that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one.